If you can master yourself, no one else can. You already know what to do. You've read the books, watched the videos, made the plans, but you keep breaking promises to yourself. You keep showing up late, falling off track, waiting for a spark that never stays lit. You think you need more motivation. You don't. You need discipline, because motivation is a mood. Discipline is a muscle. It shows up when you don't feel like it. It gets louder when things get harder. It leads you where feelings never could. And here's the truth. The most powerful people you admire, the ones who build, grow, and last, they're not superhuman. They're just trained. This video is not for the casually interested. This is for people who want to become unbreakable. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Why motivation will always fail you. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your training. Archilochus, you wake up one day feeling inspired. You plan the perfect routine. You write out your goals. You feel ready. Day 1, you crush it. Day 2, still strong. Day 3, a little tired. Day 4, you fall off. By day 7, you're back at 0 watching another video, waiting for another spark. Why? Because motivation is a temporary emotional state. It's dopamine, not discipline. It gets you started, but it will never take you to the end. The problem isn't that you're lazy. It's that your system is built on emotion instead of identity. Story. The runner who trained in the rain, a Navy SEAL, once said, "If it's raining, I run. If I don't want to run, I run twice." Why? Because if your actions are dictated by how you feel, you'll never become what you're capable of. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, especially when it's hard. The science? Motivation is part of the dopamine reward system in your brain. But dopamine is fleeting. It spikes with novelty and drops when effort is required. How to shift away from motivation dependence. Expect resistance. It's not a sign to stop. It's proof you're doing real work. Create action anchors. Tie your behavior to time, not mood. At 7 a.m. I train. Not when I feel ready, I'll train. Celebrate reps, not feelings. Track consistency, not how hyped you feel. You'll never get through the hard part. Motivation is the match. Discipline is the fire. You can't control your moods, but you can train your response to them. And that's where freedom begins. Chapter 2. Discipline is a system, not willpower. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your systems. James Clear. Most people believe discipline is just self-control, force, grit, grinding through resistance. But willpower is finite. You wake up with a full tank, and every decision, every temptation, every delay drains it. By 8 p.m., most people are too depleted to choose growth. That's not weakness, that's design failure. Discipline that depends on willpower will always fail, but discipline built on systems, that's sustainable. That's unbreakable. Why systems beat willpower? A system is a pre-decided structure. It removes the need to feel ready. You don't decide to brush your teeth. You just do it. You don't decide to show up at work. You're already dressed for it. The friction is gone. The pattern is automatic. Masters design their lives so discipline becomes natural, not forced. Story. The pianist's ritual. A concert pianist was asked, "How do you stay so disciplined?" She replied, "I don't think about practicing. I just sit at the bench at 6 a.m. Once I sit, my hands know what to do." She didn't rely on motivation. She relied on ritual. How to build a disciplined system. Design your default. Remove friction. Phone in another room. Workout clothes laid out. Tools ready. Tie actions to anchors. After coffee, I journal. At 6 p.m. I shut all screens. Build around time, not mood. Choose time blocks. Deep work from 9 to 11 a.m. Treat them like non-negotiable meetings. The truth, your environment beats your intention. The most disciplined people don't fight temptation all day. They remove it from their path. Discipline isn't about force, it's about structure. Chapter 3. Discipline is identity, not just action. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. James Clear. People think discipline is about what discipline is about who you believe you are. Your identity creates your behavior. Your behavior reinforces your identity. It's a loop, and the only way to become consistent is to believe in the version of yourself who is. Two people are offered a cigarette. One says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." The other says, "No thanks, I don't smoke." Same action, different identity. Guess who's more likely to relapse? The one who still thinks of themselves as a smoker. The identity discipline loop. You act consistently with who you believe you are. Every repetition reinforces that belief. Over time, that belief becomes unshakable. You don't need to act disciplined. You need to become the kind of person who doesn't negotiate with distractions. How to shift identity. Use identity-based language. I'm the kind of person who trains daily. I write even when it's messy. I finish what I start. Track repetitions, not perfection. Each day you show up as a vote for your identity. Missed days don't define you. Consistency does. Visualize the future you, then act like them. Before each task, ask, what would the disciplined version of me do right now? The truth is, the body follows the mind, and the mind follows the story it believes. Change your story, and you change your discipline permanently. Chapter 4. Discipline begins where emotion ends. Do it when it's hard. That's when it matters. David Goggins, you feel tired. You're sore. You're anxious. You're uninspired. That's where most people stop. They wait for the right feeling to return, for energy, for clarity, for ease. But the discipline don't wait. They show up when it's boring, when it's painful, when it's silent, when it's lonely, because that's when growth actually happens. Story. The writer who wrote through grief and author once said, "The morning after my father died, I still wrote, not because I felt like it, but because I had trained myself to show up no matter what." Discipline isn't robotic. It's sacred. It's a promise you keep to yourself, especially when everything in you wants to stop. How to show up without emotion. Create a non-negotiable list. Write down the top 3 things you'll do every day, no matter how you feel. Lower the activation energy. Can't do a full workout? Do 10 push-ups. Can't write 1,000 words? Write 10. Show up, then keep going. Use emotional resistance as a compass. The harder it feels, the more it probably matters. The truth is, if you only move when it's easy, you'll never move when it counts. Emotion can be your fuel, but discipline is your engine, and you don't need to feel good to keep going. Chapter 5. Discipline is freedom, not punishment. Most people think discipline is restriction, but it's the ultimate freedom. Jocko Willing to the undisciplined routine looks like a prison. Waking up early, controlling your diet. Working while others scroll, saying no when others say yes. It all looks rigid, robotic, boring. But what they don't see is this. Discipline gives you options. Indiscipline takes them away. Because when you don't control your actions, someone or something else will. Discipline builds control over emotional regulation, physical strength, mental clarity, and creative output. While the undisciplined are stuck reacting, the disciplined are free to choose. Story. The boxer and the wine. A young boxer skipped his strict routine one night to party and drink. The next day in the ring, his timing was off. His breathing failed. He lost. Afterward, his coach said that wine tasted good last night, but it cost you the fight. He never skipped his routine again. Because the price of discipline is short-term discomfort. The price of indiscipline is everything you want most. How to shift this mindset. Reframe rules as power, not prison. I don't drink on weekdays because I protect my mind at all costs. Track what discipline unlocks. More energy, better sleep, deeper work, faster growth. Write it down. Test the opposite. Live undisciplined for a week. Track how much time, peace, or opportunity you lose. The truth is, undisciplined freedom is just hidden slavery. You either master your habits or you become their servant. Discipline isn't what holds you back, it's what sets you free. Chapter 6. Discipline lives in the micro. Not the massive. How you do anything is how you do everything. T. Harvecker, most people think discipline is about big acts. Running marathons, writing books, building a business, launching a brand. But masters know, the big is built in the small. The way you answer an email, close a door, make your bed, show up on time, stick to your word, finish the last rep. All of it adds up to a disciplined identity. Story: the SEAL who folded his socks, a Navy SEAL, was asked why he took folding his socks so seriously. He replied, "Because when the mission gets chaotic, I need to know that every part of me is already trained to respect order, even in the details. Discipline in the micro, readiness in the macro. Daily micro disciplines. Wake up without snoozing. Leave every space better than you found it. Set and finish one task per work session. Speak with precision. No exaggeration, no excuses. Pause before reacting. These are small, but they train the foundation of an unbreakable mind. The truth is, big things crumble when small things are ignored. Discipline doesn't start with the mountain. It starts with one honest step." Chapter 7. Discipline means saying no even to good things. The difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. Warren Buffett: "We all love saying yes. Yes to new projects. Yes to new ideas. Yes to opportunities. Yes to people's requests. Yes to more, but every yes costs time, energy, focus, and sanity." Discipline is the ability to say no without guilt. No to the scroll. No to the party. No to the extra project. No to distractions that feel good now but cost you later. Story: the writer who blocked out the world, a best-selling author, was invited to speak at dozens of events. He turned almost all of them down. Why? Because if I say yes to everything, I say no to writing. And that's who I am. That's the discipline of focus. How to say no without guilt. Use a priority filter. If it doesn't align with your one mission, it's a no. Buy time before committing. Let me check and get back to you. Avoid instant yeses. Write your not-to-do list. List the habits, commitments, and distractions you will not allow back. You'll become unbreakable.